Coming across the different branches of, right? The very first one is literary dramatic musical work. It is right, many are very good in writing essays, many are good in writing or composing emails. Many are good in writing poems, in writing in short poems. So the person who is producing this work has the right. And therefore, such a person, whom we can call it as an author or the script writer or the music composer, they themselves have the right to store whatever work they have created into the electronic means. They can even convert this into different languages. They may even issue the copies of their work to the public. They can even allow someone to adopt their work. Maybe like, let's take a good example of Three Idiots. This was taken from the novel of Chetan Bhagat. Two states taken from the novel of Chetan Bhagat. But it was not stolen. It was taken with written permission. Maybe the entire novel would have been used or a part of the novel, but still then it is mandatory to take permission and pay the adequate amount to the author or the creator of such work. Most of the movies that are being made from the regional languages. So here also it is, we need to take the permission from the person who is a writer of such story. Artistic work, yes, today we are doing many different types of artistic work, and many are uploading on the YouTube channel, whatever it be. Whatever work you have created, it can be, drawing, painting, sculpture work is there, or creative types of rangolis are there. Whatever decorative work you're doing, whoever is a creator, the artist has the right to communicate the work to the public, sell the copies of the same, right? They can allow even some of the work being shown in the cinematographic film, or it can be adapted somewhere and so on. So it is the artist who has the right to use their work and make money from the same. Going across cinematographic film, yes, most of the film, as I said, have been copied, but whenever they are being copied, obviously the person who wants to copy the work seeks the permission from the original person, the writer, the producer of the movie, that they would be, taking a part of this story for making a new cinematographic film. Coming across with the sound recording, till some years back we were not aware that even sound cannot be copied. I remembered one of my friend saying me that person has made a song in Marathi language, but the music is of Hindi movie, and can he, mix both of them and, upload a song sung by him on YouTube? And my reply was no, because it was a clear case of violation of copyright. Because original sound was produced by someone else, and we have not taken the permission from that person of using a part or a few seconds of sound also for making our own song. So who are ultimately being protected by Copyright Act? So it is the one who does literary writing, dramatic work, a person who does an artistic work, a person who is associated with, creating of music, person who is associated making with cinematographic film, person who is very good in recording sounds, even photographs. आप बहुत बार देखोगे कि जब आपको फोटोग्राफ कहीं से कोई साइट से आपको लेना है, they say the site is blocked, but you want to take that photograph, so you need to contact the original photographer. You need to say why you need that particular photograph. The person may assign you, give you the rights, but it is never free of cost, and it is only given for that particular work. You cannot use that photograph multiple times. You cannot give that photograph to any of your friends saying that I have paid, now you can also use it. That cannot be done. And lastly is the computer generated work. We would be very good in generating different types of softwares. So even the softwares cannot be copied by someone else. The other person need to give me the appropriate price either for using it or to buy from me. So ultimately, in each case, we have, defined who are the creator of their work. In case of literary dramatic work, I have an author. In case of poem, we had the poet or poetist. In case of artistic work, we call artist. In case of musical work, we call music composer. In case of cinematograph, it is producer. In case of sound recording, we have a sound producer. For photograph, we'll have a photographer. And for computer generated work, the person who is causing this work to take place. Now, what is meaning of fair use? I know so many slides when I have shown, there was some question at the back of mind of every person who is listening this session very actively. Does it say that we cannot copy any work? Okay, so let's understand what is meaning of fair use. Copyright Act doesn't say that you cannot copy anyone's work. But I believe that we need to take permission, and there are some reasons for which we can use the work done by other person. Like I may use the research done by one of my friend, but I want to use the same research maybe for some other study. It could be even a private study. Or it could be for reviewing or for criticism. I may say, okay, this research did not cover this important factor. So it is very important the same research should be taken into consideration, covering some other important factors. Or maybe I'm trying to, cover some report, some current events. This could be with reference to some events that have taken place in past. In connection with judicial proceeding, when you are approaching an advocate or a lawyer, you'll always see they have a lot number of books in their offices, and they do refer that whether any such similar types of cases have taken place, and if have taken place, what were the judgments that were being given, and can we use similar judgments in the present case or not? Because we want to give justice to our client. Performance by an amateur club of society. There are so many such clubs in our own vicinity, wherein today our children, they want to play like Sachin Tendulkar, they want to become Virat Kohli, they want to become MS Dhoni, right? And it is not possible that you can send your children at a very far off place. Therefore, it is very necessary that we would be taking care that if we have a club in our own vicinity, let the child go there, and there are teachers who teach the children, the coaches that teach the children how the game has to be played, what are the steps, how these cricketers were able to score good runs, and so on. And likewise, if you're working or you're a part of any academic activities like on Independence Day, on Republic Day, on 1st May, many such days which we are observing in our college, in our schools, we are using sound recordings. Yes, they can be used, but please keep in mind there are certain conditions. Now there would be a question, what about if such musics are being played in restaurants? Yes, even they are supposed to acquire copyrights. Yeah, they are supposed to go for intellectual property rights. They need to pay relevant amount of fees for using or playing such songs in their premises. So many are not aware about this. This is again creating an awareness कि किसी भी पिक्चर का सॉन्ग प्ले करने के लिए घर पे प्ले करेंगे बात अलग है, but when you're playing in public, you're playing in certain premises, it is must you should buy the intellectual property rights. So let's understand what is assignment of copyright. Assigning means giving. Now I have a friend who wants one of my write-up or maybe some of my dialogues to be used in their play or maybe in their serial. So the person approaches me, and I may either assign partial rights or maybe rights in full to the other party. Okay, and the condition is that you need to pay certain amount to me. The person does not become the owner, but is allowed to use my dialogues, my songs, okay, or maybe certain proverbs that I have created. And by default, they can use only for a period of 5 years. The serial may continue for a very long period of time. And as 5 years are about to end, if the producer wants to use the same dialogues, okay, and some certain statements, they need again to buy these rights for me. So the rights are not sold, but I allow other person to use. And that too, it is not free of cost. A nominal amount is being charged. And by default, the person is allowed to use for a period of 5 years. Now there could be a question, क्या एक ही डायलॉग आप 10 सीरियल में चला सकते? No. You have to be very specific. I will be using this dialogue or the first line of your song for a particular serial only. I cannot use that statement or a song in the number of serials which are being produced by me. So that clarity should be there. Now let's understand term of copyright, because the definition was very clearly saying that law permits the rights for a certain period of time. So in case of literary, dramatic, musical and artistic work other than a photograph, the person gets rights for 60 years period from the beginning of the calendar year next following the year in which the author dies. Similar in case of broadcast industry, it is for a period of 20 years, then it comes into public domain. But there are number of works where we are not knowing who are the author, who are the artist, who was the musical composer. So in that case, or maybe we would be recognizing their work after their death. That is known as posthumous work. So the moment when we are becoming aware about their work, and this person is no more, so count next 60 years from the beginning of the next calendar year. Till then, we have to be conscious that there are the owners, the creators, or maybe the legal heads who are having these rights. Hence, without their permission, you cannot copy their work. So the question is, how can I go for registration? If you see the last line, I have shared the link. Government has created almost very consumer-friendly sites, web links, so that, we are not facing lot many hassles. When you visit this site, there are FAQs, frequently asked questions, and you would be having lot many things like I want to, register my promotional message. Before we go for procedure for registration, I remember one incident, should be 10 to 12 years back. One of my student, he was having a habit of writing promotional messages, and he made a separate book. He came one day and he said me, "Ma'am, can you have a look?" And I said, "No, I would not prefer to look, because if I remember and I speak out this word somewhere, it will be infringement of your copyright." And after 2 months, he was invited by one of the advertising agencies. He came to seek my blessings and he said, "Ma'am, today I'm going for one of the advertising agencies and they want to go through my promotional messages." So I was very happy that this boy has done something very good. But as he left the premises, I, recalled him and I asked him, "Have you got the copyright registration done?" And he was surprised. "Wo kya hota hai?" So I made him understand. Say, for example, you go somewhere and you're reading your promotional messages and it is being recorded by the other party, you will not be able to prove you are the actual owner. So you need to go first for the copyright registration. And he was, little bit shocked. I said, "Beta, ye aapke achhe ke liye, go for copyright registration. If it is your original work, you will get copyright registration certificate. And no one can copy your work without your permission. Then you go and read out your promotional message. If anyone is trying to copy it, you have the right to prove that it is copyright infringement and you can get a huge amount of compensation." So first thing, when you visit this site, they will ask you what you want to register, whatever it is. You need to fill online form, pay the requisite fee, upload your write-up and wait for a period of 30 days. If they find that this is your original work and there is no one, claiming objection, then in that case, immediately after the end of 30 days, you are assigned, given copyright registration certificate. But there can be a query. Suppose someone says, "Nahi, ye copy hua hai." So you should be capable to prove that it is not copied. Yeah, there are chances my thoughts may match with the thoughts of other person, but I have never met that person. I have never gone through the write-ups of that person. So if you are able to prove that it is not copied, then in that case, you can be granted copyright registration certificate. So whatever write-up, drawings, whatever you're having, please always see that you are having its copyright. Now, what is meaning of infringement of copyright and what does it cover? So when I use the word infringement, it is violation of copyright. In simple words, doing something or stealing someone's work without other person's permission. So see, what is the first point trying to say? Reproducing without permission. एग्जाम में कॉपी करना अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन रियल लाइफ में जब आप कॉपी करते हो, इट इज अमाउंटिंग टू वायलेशन. Translation without someone's permission, you have translated work in different language, or you may have adapted a part of this in your drama or in your movie, or without anyone's permission you are trying to perform the work in public, communicate to the public, or maybe some form of sound recording is copied from one movie and adopted in other movie, or you have stolen, or you taken someone's work and you are giving that work to some other person on higher basis, or you're selling someone else's work. So all this amounts to infringement of copyrights. So in this slide we have the picture of music composer Mr. Ram Sampath, and on the right hand side of the slide I'm able to see Hrithik Roshan. Now some years back, should be a decade back, Ram Sampath was hired by Sony Ericsson Mobile to compose music for their advertisement. This is before iPhone being coming into the Indian market. We had only Nokia cell phone, and then we could see Sony Ericsson in the market. Now this mobile was very expensive and we wanted to target the Indian consumers to buy this product. The product was of a much better quality, and Mr. Ram Sampath, when he has composed the music, and only playing a music and showing a mobile phone was not sufficient. So the company decided, why not we have some seconds, some dance steps of Hrithik Roshan, and Hrithik Roshan was hired as a brand ambassador for Sony Ericsson Mobile. Now this advertisement came into the channels. People started buying Sony Ericsson Mobile, and at the same time one movie was going to be launched in the Indian market, that was Crazy 4. This movie was actually being produced by Rakesh Roshan, and they felt that some steps of Hrithik Roshan could be adapted somewhere into the movie, could be fit in somewhere. That is what we call as thumb music. But when Ram Sampath became aware of this particular fact, he had filed infringement case, and in that case after many investigation going on, it was proved that it is a very clear case of infringement of the music being played. So Mr. Ram Sampath actually wanted a compensation of 2 crore rupees. So this is an era where now people became aware that no one can even steal your music, your songs, your wordings, even it could be a line or few words, without your permission. So after being proved that this was infringement case, and Ram Sampath wanted a claim of rupees 2 crores, he was finally handed over 1 crore 77 lakhs 34,600 rupees after deducting tax. So this made people aware that now you cannot even steal someone's music, or even a thumb music that could be for some seconds. Many times we think that people will not become aware, but today people are becoming more aware. They immediately recognize, okay, this is some music of this particular movie, or this particular word we have heard in this movie. And personal property rights. Like there are people who are imitating Amitabh Bachchan ji, there are people imitating Anil Kapoor, Jackie Shroff, Shah Rukh Khan. So they have taken personal property rights. You cannot imitate them without their permission. So this is something new happening which people should be knowing, that what is new coming into the market. I do not know how many have come across with this beautiful song of movie Diwar, which was imitated in one of the movie, and the judgment was the one which brought enlightenment among many of them, that even wordings of the songs cannot be changed, the music being same. There was a movie in early 70s, and the name of this movie was Diwar, and a very beautiful song was characterized on Shashi Kapoor ji and Neetu Singh, and the wordings were keh du tumhe kya chup rahu dil mein mere aaj kya hai. Now after 25 years everything comes into public domain, broadcasting industry clearly says that, but in the movie Badshah, the song was played with the same music, and the thing was the first line becomes the second line and the second line becomes the first line. So when people became conscious, then infringement case was being filed, and there was an order being given, injunction order was being given by the judges, saying that very first was that the movie should not be run or should be removed, but on the plea of the directors, the judgment that was given was the song need to be removed from the movie. And believe it, when the song was removed, this movie could not run much into the theaters. So just imagine how much penalty you are facing or what type of charges are coming across your name, where you become, so conscious that ultimately you have defamed yourself by copying someone else's work without giving due credit to that person or taking the rights from that particular person. So please keep in mind, there has been lot many changes in Copyright Act, and the new Copyright Act, which was laid down few years back, has brought lot many things, has included lot many things, and has made life of us very easy. I don't want anyone to copy my work. For my creativity, I should be paid. That's the reason initially Copyright Act of 1957 conferred copyright protection in two ways. One is economic right. That is, when you are contributing something, you should be able to get monetary benefit for the same. And talking about moral right, if I have done some work, I have created some work, I should be getting due credit for me. That is, recognition should be there. And in case if I'm not getting recognition, someone has copied my work, then under the act, I can take action for infringement of whatever work has been copied, which enables me to get a huge amount and to make the society aware that you cannot copy anyone's work. The work created by the author has the right Copyright Act, and therefore we need to be conscious. Do not allow anyone to copy your work. Or if you're, sharing your work and you don't want any copyright, it is a different matter. Recently, one of the students had informed me that she composes some good songs in English and she's uploading on Facebook. I said, now you cannot claim copyright because there would be someone who has, taken your stuff and might have claimed copyright for the same. But now that person has a right to say that you are trying to steal my work, original work. Hence, be conscious. First, apply for copyright. Claim the rights when you are being given copyright registration certificate. Make people aware that this is your original work and it cannot be copied by all. And thank you to all lovely audience for hearing this session. The next sessions in coming future will be having on patent right, on trademark, because we would be having different level of intelligence and we should be knowing how we can protect our intellectual work. Thank you to all. Wishing you a great day ahead.